And welcome back to the channel, everybody, and today I'll be giving you guys my quick thoughts on Friday Night Smackdown, everything that took place within the 3-hour Ball Fest. Well, obviously not everything, because I didn't really watch all of it. I'm only going to be going over the stuff I saw, and also, man oh man, this show, outside of one person's return and several other stuff, there wasn't really a lot to talk about. This is why SmackDown needs to be 2 hours. One of the things that my biggest complaint so far is definitely the Backlash card. I wish Triple H would just add more matches to the card. I hate that he's only going to add more matches if it's a 2-night show like WrestleMania. SummerSlam is going to be a 2-night show this year, and Royal Rumble is potentially going to be a 2-nighter next year. So, I wish he'd just add more matches to the card. I mean, like, why can't he add the Women's United States Championship to the Backlash card? You know what I mean? But instead, he'd rather not. Why not add Fraxium and Street Profits to the Backlash card? Nope, he'd rather not do that. Why not have, Liv and Raquel can't defend, but you know what I mean. Like, why can't Zelina Vega defend on the pay-per-view? Why can't Fraxium defend on the pay-per-view? But instead he'd give us five garbage matches. Well, not all of them are garbage, but 5 matches on the card, and the pay-per-view shouldn't be treated that way. A pay-per-view should not be treated like a little mini pit stop. You know what I mean? But anyway, I'm ranting a bit too much, but I just wanted to get that off my chest, because I think that's just really dumb. Please add more matches to your pay-per-views, Triple H. It's okay to at least add 7 to 8 matches every PLE. You know, make every title you have on your company mean something, instead of them just always being defended on episodes of Raw and SmackDown all the damn time. Anyway, the show opened up with LA Knight, yeah, teaming up with Damian Priest. That doesn't work. Anyway, they took on the last remaining surviving members of the Bloodline, Solo Sikoa, and our beloved United States Champion, Jacob Fatu. Look, I still don't really care all that much for Jacob, but yeah, he is a great wrestler, but that's really about it. So the babyfaces would ultimately win with LA Knight pinning Solo Sikoa. Man, oh man, the fall from grace for Solo Sikoa, man. The fall from grace from this guy. It wasn't too long ago, like a few years ago, he pinned John Cena, and I remember how everyone made that out to be a big deal. He went from competing constantly for the WWE Championship against Cody Rhodes, and he was in a big rivalry with Roman Reigns, where Roman Reigns apparently wanted to put Solo Sikoa over, but that got changed. And to now, he's basically a loser. He's basically a loser now. It's like they've just completely like, yeah, okay, we get it. Solo's not a great wrestler. We'll give the push that we were gonna give to Solo, but we'll give it to Jacob Fatu instead. So that just kind of feels like what's going on here. And Drew McIntyre would lay out Jacob Fatu to set up that big fatal 4-way that got coming up, which I truly believe Jacob Fatu was going to retain. I don't really see why Jacob would lose his title this early on in his title run. Next up, we get my least favorite faction on the SmackDown brand, Chelsea Green and her little cabinet, whatever the hell their name is, the Secret Service or whatever the bloody hell they're called. Chelsea Green and Piper Niven team up together to take on the Women's United States Champion Zelina Vega again. I mean, seriously, can they please move Zelina Vega on from this? Like, why do I have to consistently see Zelina Vega beat the shit out of these 3 girls every single week? We've seen her beat these girls constantly, week after week. Can we please move on to something else, please? Zelina Vega reveals her tag team partner, and it ends up being the returning Alexa Bliss. We haven't seen Alexa Bliss since Liv Morgan sent her into oblivion at the Elimination Chamber, so that was the last time we saw her. And again, Zelina Vega doesn't get a reaction from the crowd, while Alexa Bliss gets a monster pop. I am starting to get very, very concerned for Zelina Vega, because here's the thing, the more and more and more she doesn't get a reaction, the more and more I believe she's going to be a transitional champion, to where either Triple H gives the title back to Chelsea Green, or has someone like Alexa Bliss challenge her for the title, and then she beats Zelina Vega or someone else. Zelina deserves to be the champion. I feel there are a few reasons why I think the fans aren't cheering her anymore. Well, A, could be because she was moved away from the LWO, because people did like her in the LWO. 2, her theme music got changed. Her previous theme was actually better than The Visual, which is the new song she has now. I'm trying to get into it, but I don't really like her new one all that much. And the third reason why is because the fans find it a coincidence that Zelina Vega won her first title on the very same day that her husband returned. So it feels like the fans are, kind of see through it, as they believe, Triple H didn't give Zelina the championship because she deserved it. He gave her the championship just to satisfy Aleister Black, who was making his return on that day. And that's kind of sad, because it feels like Zelina Vega at this point, it feels like she doesn't really deserve the title. At least that's how WWE are booking it. I get Alexa Bliss is making her comeback here, but I was not a fan of Zelina Vega being the one that gets beat down by everybody, and then Alexa Bliss made the save. But I get it, it's Alexa's comeback. It would make sense for someone way more popular. As much as it pains me to say it, Alexa is obviously way more popular. It makes sense for the popular wrestler to be securing the wins and making the heroic saves. Even though I feel like Zelina Vega, who is the champion, should be scoring the victories instead, because she is the champion. So I kind of feel like Zelina is an afterthought champion, which makes me very sad. But Alexa Bliss and Zelina Vega ultimately got the win. The Abigail DDT secures the win over Chelsea Green. So Alexa Bliss pins Chelsea Green with the Abigail DDT. Not really a whole lot I can really say about this. Great that Alexa's back. Please just don't put her with the White Six. Can she just do her own thing, please? That's all I ask for. All I ask for, you bald fraud, is just to have Alexa do her own thing. She doesn't need to wait on the Wyatt Six. She doesn't have to wait on them. Even if you still want to put her with the Wyatt Six, she doesn't have to wait for whoever the hell is injured to come back just to compete. I think it's just for the better if she just competes anyway. Sure, Zelina Vega versus Alexa Bliss does have potential. It would be a potentially good match. It is a refreshing matchup, and that's the only good thing that I could really see coming out of it. But I really would like to see Zelina win if that match does in fact happen. But other than that, the matchup was fine, and the right team obviously won here. Vega and Bliss get the win, and right team got the win there, and that's really all I can really say. Rey Fenix was ambushed by Legado del Fantasma backstage, ultimately leading up to a tag team match with Andrade and Rey Fenix taking on Los Garza. Charlotte came out, and this is the first time we've seen her since her loss to Tiffany Stratton at WrestleMania, so about 2 weeks or 3 weeks of absence. So, and that's another thing I don't like. WrestleMania wasn't too long ago, and we've already got a pay-per-view coming up tomorrow. And it feels like we're only just still getting over, the WrestleMania, bug that happened before. So Charlotte comes out, she's trying to cut a promo, the fans are booing over the top of her. She's getting very agitated, very pissed off at the audience for disrespecting her, and she threatens to leave SmackDown and walk off SmackDown if the fans continue to disrespect her. The fans continue to disrespect her, she throws the mic down and then just walks off. So I guess this is WWE's way on writing Charlotte off SmackDown and putting her on Monday Night Raw, I'm assuming. I mean, it's not gonna change. I mean, it doesn't really matter what brand she's on, she's still going to get booed in every arena she goes to. So I don't really see, like, moving her to another brand really means anything. Apparently they're moving her to another brand because it has something to do with Nia Jax, which is what I was told from what I was told. But I don't know, man. I don't, like, sure, putting her on Raw might be refreshing for her, but also she's going to be on the same show as Becky Lynch, who is somebody else I don't think she has a good relationship with. I think her and Becky have patched up their problems, but I don't think they're, full-on friends yet. But yeah. So yeah, I just don't think putting her on Raw is going to be any better. Like, what? You're going to have her feud with Io Sky? Like, you're literally going to have Charlotte come in and then just feud with Io Sky? The only thing that really should happen with Charlotte is she goes through a putting over phase. Like, keep her on Smackdown a little bit longer and she kind of goes through this putting over phase. Like, she puts over Alexa Bliss in a match. Like, she loses to Zelina Vega or something like that. Loses to Michin, kind of give her the putting over phase as she kind of goes on a losing streak to other people. Like, maybe even loses to Jade Cargill, who came out and confronted Charlotte as she was leaving. Like, they went face to face briefly. So that's kind of what I mean. Like, if you want to I feel like that would be the best case scenario for Charlotte at this point, is to kind of go through a putting over phase. Like, she kind of just starts losing to people. Even if it's someone, again, like Alexa Bliss, which they did tease backstage. With Alexa and Charlotte going briefly face-to-face against each other. So I feel like that's what they should really do here. They should kind of have Charlotte go through a putting over phase where she starts going on a losing streak. She calls herself one of the best pure athletes, and kind of having her go on a losing streak and she kind of starts going insane. Where she consistently begins to lose. Like, she can't even beat, like Michin or something. Like Charlotte's getting kicked off her throne, you could say. Like, she's starting to lose grip on her throne because she's constantly losing to everybody. I think that would be a good story you could tell with Charlotte Flair if she goes on a losing streak. But this is WWE. Does WWE and giving Charlotte Flair a losing streak storyline make any sense? No, of course it doesn't, because it's WWE. Like, they would never in a million years put Charlotte Flair in a losing streak. Charlotte Flair going on a losing streak? Yeah, right, that's never gonna happen. It's a good idea, but I just know WWE aren't going to do that because it's Charlotte Flair we're talking about here. Nia Jax and Jade Cargill have a match against each other, and apparently this is to determine who would fight Tiffany Stratton next. And I genuinely do not understand why Nia Jax continues to get pushed. Can someone ask me, why do we need to see Tiffany Stratton versus Nia Jax again? Like, we literally saw it not too long ago. Nia Jax defeats Jade Cargill. Not full-on clean though. Naomi does interfere and distracts Jade Cargill. She kind of attacks Tiffany on the outside. So basically, Nia and Jade just got 50-50 booked, because last week, though I didn't talk about it last week, Nia Jax got pinned last week by Jade Cargill, when Jade Cargill powerbombed her off a top rope, and now Nia Jax has pinned Jade Cargill here. So basically, they're being 50-50 booked. And I get it, you need a heel to go up against the babyface Tiffany Stratton, but you do know Naomi was right there, right? You do realize Naomi was right there. Can't you give Naomi her win back against Jade Cargill? Or can't Naomi do that because, Naomi has to put people over? I feel like if anyone should have lost to Jade, it should have been Naomi. If anyone Jade should have lost to, it should have been Naomi instead of Nia Jax. But that's WWE for you. They always like pushing the same damn people all the time, and it gets really irritating. Like, the next person Jade should be losing to is Naomi, but I guess you shouldn't have Jade lose too much, because then that kind of means she might start losing a bit more of her appeal and more of her aura. But I don't know, man. I don't know, man. It always feels weird watching Jade Cargill lose a match, because, you know, if you've seen her in AEW, she won like 60 consecutive matches. She won like 60 consecutive matches. And how many matches did she win in WWE before her first loss? I don't think it's 60. I think she won less than 60 in WWE. Don't you think WWE could have been like, oh, we'll have Jade Cargill win more matches than she did in AEW, and then we'll start having her lose? But nope. I think Jade won less matches than she did in AEW before they started having her lose. Bit of a question there. Street Profits cut a promo, and out come the new tag team of Friday Night Smackdown, Fraxium, Nathan Fraser and Axiom. Honestly, I'm a big fan of Nathan Fraser and Axiom. I think they're a great tag team, and they challenged them to an impromptu match, and they accept. And Fraxium defeat the tag team champions clean in the middle of the ring. And as usual, and as always, it's not going to matter, because Backlash is tomorrow. They're not just going to announce these two in a rematch on Backlash tomorrow. They're going to save it for an episode of Smackdown, or probably worse, the Saturday night's live event known as Saturday night's main event. Which again, I don't know why they continuously use that event. It's not even a pay-per-view, and it's never been treated as a pay-per-view. Aleister Black and Carmelo Hayes is next, and Aleister Black gets the win. And that seems right. That's the right direction to go in, having Aleister Black beat Carmelo Hayes. And I don't know why people seem to think, and I wish people would learn their lesson, that people that win the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal doesn't mean you're gonna get a push. I wish people would understand that. Just because you win the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal doesn't mean shit. It's never meant anything. Look at Bronson Reed. He won it last year. Did he end up doing anything major? Outside of teaming up with Bloodline 2.0 against the OG Bloodline, which CM Punk was not an original member of the Bloodline, but, you know, it was more done as a favor. For Paul Heyman. But other than that, he didn't really do much. He did feud with Braun Strowman, but did he go on to become the Intercontinental Champion? I think Bronson Reed definitely should have, but he didn't. But that's the thing I'm saying. Just because you win the Battle Royal, the most pointless Battle Royal that has ever been a part of history, does not mean anything major is going to happen to your career. I wish people would start understanding that. It never has and never will mean anything. So Andrade and Rey Fenix team up to take on Angel Garza and Humberto Carrillo, Los Garza. You know, just like with Zelina Vega, which is something I find very concerning about how she's not getting a reaction, I am now beginning to realize that Rey Fenix isn't getting much of a reaction from the crowd. I know Penta is, because I watch Raw Weekly. I know he gets a reaction. And the crowd do his little, hey, or whatever it is. His little taunt that he does, where he puts his fingers out and then he drops them down. The crowd do that chant. The crowd do that chant with him. So Penta is at least over. Rey Fenix, however, isn't. And I think that is why I didn't like him losing at WrestleMania. I feel like that could have really hurt him. But yeah, they really need to get Rey Fenix to get a reaction. They really need to get a reaction out of Rey Fenix very soon. Otherwise, things are not going to look good for the brother of Penta. This is why I've been saying they really need to get Penta and Rey Fenix back together as the Lucha Brothers, because that's going to be really the only way Rey Fenix is going to get over. If he's paired up with his brother as the Lucha Bros. So Triple H really, really, really needs to get the Lucha Brothers together very, very soon. Otherwise, Rey Fenix is going to get lost in the shuffle. The main event was John Cena. He comes out. The crowd cheer him because I guess John Cena is now the cool heel. Even though he wants to ruin wrestling, but people cheer him. So, I don't know the name of the new ring announcer. I think they keep saying his name's Nash. Mark Nash, I think. I think his name's Mark Nash. I think that's his name. So John Cena, for the last several weeks, every time he's been appearing on Smackdown, he has been bullying this guy into saying his introduction better. Basically wanting him to say, making his introduction better. And this time round, some fan just throws an empty beer bottle in the ring as the ring announcer is doing his introduction on Cena. Cena pauses him, picks up the beer bottle, and then just throws it away. Then he gives the thumbs up to the ring announcer to continue his introduction. That was pretty damn funny, I'm not gonna lie. That was pretty damn funny, and I cracked up laughing when I saw that. So John Cena goes on a tirade again, says that Randy Orton's not here, and he tells him that his father's a loser, his Bob Orton Jr.'s a loser, and all that stuff, and the one thing that John Cena said, which is something very ironic coming out of the irony coming out of his mouth, and it's very ironic coming out of him. He calls Randy Orton a lazy bones. Basically saying that WWE is his couch. Listen, John, you have no room to call Randy Orton a lazy bones, considering you are a part-timer champion. You are a part-timer champion, my guy. So I don't think you have any kind of room or legway to call Randy Orton a lazy bones. Well, yes, Randy Orton's is not the greatest wrestler in the world. It's one of the things I've been talking about. Just because he's not flashy in the ring and he pulls off these fancy moves, and Randy Orton always works slow and methodical, his slow and methodical pace, because that's always Randy Orton's style. That's always been Randy's style. Like, just because he doesn't, do flips and dives everywhere like a typical cruiserweight, doesn't mean Randy's a bad wrestler. And speaking of Randy, apparently Randy revealed that somewhere before France, when they went to Backlash, I think it was either last year or the year before, I think it was last year, Randy revealed that WWE were going to change his theme. They were going to change his theme, they were going to turn him heel, and they were going to change his theme song upon turning heel. I'm guessing they're probably going to have him turn on Cody Rhodes, I'm guessing. But because France cheered him and sang his song word from word, Randy Orton then decided, no, I am keeping this song for the rest of my career. And thank the God-living heavens for that. I would have been livid. I would have been livid if Randy Orton lost his theme. Voices is too iconic. You cannot get rid of the legendary voices. It's just such an iconic theme. You cannot get rid of it. You will be sinned by Patrick Kevin Valentine if you do that to Randy Orton. So some imposter wearing a hood that looks like Randy Orton's jacket appears, and John Cena obviously thinks this is Randy Orton, but how in the world would anyone believe that was Randy Orton when Randy Orton is 290 pounds and he's a big muscle dude? This guy that came into the ring looked like a skinny cruiserweight. He looked like a skinny dude. So John Cena deals with him, Randy Orton appears from behind and gives John Cena an RKO and poses with the WWE Championship above his head. And that concludes Friday Night Smackdown. Yeah, outside of Zelina and Alexa, and maybe Charlotte's segment with Alexa, and the promo in the ring, and I guess even the other women's stuff, and I guess also Alistair, maybe, and Fraxium maybe, and also the John Cena stuff. It did not feel like a good show. Yes, I did name off a lot more positives, but that's only because these are people I care about. It's only because if it's people I care about, then obviously I'm going to be like, well, yeah, the people I care about will obviously be the highlights, and the people I don't really care about all that much are not going to be the highlights. So, that's really all I gotta say for SmackDown, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed. Hit that thumbs up. Let me know your thoughts down below, and I will see you all in the next video.